Hey, sports fans, welcome back to the Full Show. Hey, it's a Saturday, and Michigan had their game canceled against Maryland. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So I watched the Ohio State-Michigan State game. I mean, obviously probably the top two Michigan rivals, and it's always interesting when they play each other. You got to give Michigan State credit. They have usually raised their game well against Ohio State and have some, quality, good wins against them when they really shouldn't have had them. And this game has the backdrop too of Ohio State having 23 players out with COVID, and I think 5 starters, especially 3 of them, I think, were on the offensive line, and you could really see the impact of that early in the game between the center who just kept having bad snaps to Fields. But Fields, the announcers made the appropriate um, analogy. Fields is the best player like in a high school game, and he just can just run and just bad snap, you just pick it up and just run and go get a first down. He finished with 104 yards on 13 carries, and those scrambling plays just rip the heart out of a defense when the quarterback can just make something out of nothing, and it's so deflating. And you could see that Fields is just the best player out there, and definitely the way they were breaking it down, he'll be most likely the number 2 player taken in the NFL draft behind Lawrence of Clemson. It's just Ohio State is just a juggernaut. They just went in and to be fair, I stopped watching when Fields was taken out 45-10. It's like 6 minutes to go. Ohio State has the ball. I'm just gonna go make my video. I mean, Ohio State's playing with like so many second stringers, and okay, I know, and it's like it doesn't matter. They're just easily the best team in the Big Ten. To be fair, Indiana stuck with them and made it a tight game last time they played 2 weeks ago, and so give props to Indiana. But I think Ohio State kind of just like started coasting in that game when they were up big, and Indiana started coming back. But Ohio State held on and got the win. It all comes back to talent, and I would have to say I'm sure coaching plays a big part. Don't get me wrong, and desire. You see Fields in there still playing in the fourth quarter. He threw that 41 touchdown pass to Olave there, right, to make it 45-10. Honestly, he probably should be out before that because you don't want him to get injured. But whatever, he wants to play. He wants to play. You could see that on the scramble. It was a 3rd and 5, and it was kind of a breakdown play. He was going to do a screen, I think it was. It was taken away, and he runs, and he just runs right through a Michigan State defender for an extra yard. Took on like 2 guys, tackled him, and he went right through one and got the extra yard. And there was a penalty, a holding, and got him further. But it was still going to be a first down regardless of the penalty. That shows you the desire. He, of course, Fields, led the player petition against the Big Ten to let them play. And you just see that desire. And I think that's the biggest thing I see Ohio State. They want to play. I mean, who doesn't want to play? They're like one of the best teams in the country. The whole goal for them this year was to play, to obviously go undefeated and get in the college football playoff. And that's where they're heading if things happen that fall the right way. So the question becomes, Ohio State's great. Fields is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Then you just throw in there Trey Sermon there with their transfer, 100 yards on 10 carries, 139 on 10 carries. Like, man, no one can stay with Ohio State. And you'll see it if they play the Big Ten title game versus Northwestern. You'll see it. They'll just run all over them. There'll be no contest like it has been in the years past when they played Northwestern. Ohio State's just at a different tier. Now, it comes into motion now. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. If Michigan plays next week versus Ohio State wins, hands down, no problem. You know why? Ohio State can run the ball. Ohio State can pass the ball. Boom, Michigan can stop neither. So, it's an easy win for Ohio State. If that happens, it gets rid of all the discussion anyways if Michigan plays next week. The big discussion is, if Michigan doesn't play, what happens to Ohio State? They'd be undefeated. They would go into possible the crossover game matchup. And are they going to get bumped into the Big Ten title game or not? And you know what? You've already heard from Barry Alvarez in Wisconsin saying that things need to be changed to get them in. The Big Ten's admitting their rule was stupid. That they shouldn't have had this rule that you had to have 6 games minimum and stuff, because now they see it's dumb. And yes, the Big Ten did something dumb. What a shock. I've been watching the Big Ten all my life. The Big Ten is dumb. Another reason why it's so dumb is now they're going to have to change the rule if Michigan doesn't play next week. You know why? Because they want the money. Oh, it's all about the money. They want Ohio State to go to the college football playoff. First off, go to the Big Ten title game. Easily win that. Big time draw, TV-wise. Then go to the college football playoff and get the money. Big time money. So, I mean, they're going to get in either way. And I'm fine with that. Ohio State's clearly the best team. One of the 4 best teams. One of the 4 best teams. And so they should go to the college football playoff. I just hope, I doubt it will happen, but I just hope this year of craziness will push towards having a bigger playoff. I know they love having the playoff and, these are the 6 best teams and all these different scenarios. You could see all the ESPN commentators all during this game just saying all about, well, this game happened, this result, what if this happens, what if this happens? So they love talking about it, but you know what people really like is when it's settled on the field. March Madness is great. Why? 68 teams have a chance, if you will. The college football playoff is terrible, honestly. It's 4 teams. There's 5 Power 5 conferences, so every year at least one Power 5 champion has no chance. I think this, if anything crazy out of this year, of all this mess of COVID, I really hope that this pushes again towards having a bigger playoff. 8 teams, 12 teams, like the NFL, where you go with a bye for the top 4 teams. I don't care. Give a better chance, because really the college football playoff, it gave the fans a bit of what they wanted, but just a taste. Because the fans want more. I mean, okay, you satisfied the fans. We have a playoff, not just the BCS title game. Now you actually have 4 teams. The fans want 8 or 12, or I wouldn't mind 16. I know. It adds more games. I get it. But it's all about money. All the money that you could add. Oh boy, I made a New Year's 6 game. Cotton Bowl or whatever, the Orange Bowl. If it's not in the playoff, it's worthless in the fans' mind. Because you know what? You didn't make the playoff. Big teams, the whole point is to make the playoff. If you don't make the playoff, it was a failure. Make the playoff bigger. That's just my thought. It used to be in the old days, if you made a bowl game, you had a successful year. Well, now there's like 30-some bowl games. So now it's like, you got to not just make a bowl game, which would make coaches look good. Now you got to, if you want to be a top team, you got to make the playoff. They got to increase the playoff. We'll see what happens. Hey, just some foolish thoughts about Michigan State and Ohio State. And I just want to go on the record. I think the game will happen next week, and I think Ohio State will obliterate Michigan. Obliterate them, because Michigan State kind of got all the kinks out of the way for Ohio State. Ohio State, typical game before the game, plays rough and doesn't play that great, but they get the win. So next week, Michigan will have the full onslaught of grade A Ohio State and will just slaughter the Wolverines. It's going to be terrible if they play. Hey, just giving you my thoughts. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll try to do some more things, as they come up like this. Michigan wasn't playing, so hey, just do a little video. As always, I'll talk to you guys next time, and even though they're not playing, go Blue!